Happy Wednesday morning, folks, and welcome back to Bass Boat on a Budget. What I'm about to do here is roll out that butcher paper so I can create a pattern, and I'm going to bring that thing all the way back to about here where it'll go across. I'm going to cut it where it sits just inside that fiberglass lip. It'll go crossed, and then it'll come straight out and then back and follow that same pattern all the way around. Hopefully I can get that accomplished with one sheet of plywood. I'm thinking probably not. So once I get the pattern laid out and cut, I can then compare to lay it out on that sheet of plywood and kind of take it from there. But I'm going to do that for this bottom, and then I'm going to put another piece of plywood on top of this, following this this lip, and I'll have it come down, and I'll follow the dimensions of the little live well and cover it. And of course we're going to recover the rest of the lids because of let me get myself out of the way because the carpet's kind of going to pot. So anyway, I'm going to get the first pattern laid out and kind of get this thing rolling. See you shortly. Okay, I've got that butcher paper laid out. All I got to do now is cut around that perimeter and then remove it, lay it out on top of my plywood, and trace that pattern out on my plywood. Kind of warm out here in the sun. Anyway, I'm just about ready to do that. I don't know if I'm going to use a knife just to go ahead and cut it, or if I'm going to just draw the perimeter with a marker and then use a pair of scissors to cut it. But it might be easier just to go ahead and cut it while it's here on the floor. And like I said, it's going to stop about right there, even with the old mounts for the seats, and that'll cover all my bad spots. First thing I need to do is cut the drain holes out, or that one drain hole out in that pattern, so that I have it, so I can put that back in. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna get started. All right, I've got the pattern cut. It's not exactly straight and perfect, but I can fix that as I'm laying it out. So all I gotta do now is just lift this up, roll it up, and that'll be all I can get done today, because I gotta start focusing on getting ready for work. So we'll pick up again tomorrow where we left off today. Hopefully I can get some of this mess straightened up so I can get that sheet of plywood laid out and get my pattern on it. And of course, this might be all I get done tomorrow, is getting the garage set up. So anyway, I'll get some more work done, bring it back. Good morning, folks. I've got the pattern cut, and I've got it laid out on this sheet of plywood. I'm battling the wind a little bit. It's going to rain, but like I said, this is not going to be perfect. I'll probably have to do a lot of sanding to fit, and the plywood wasn't wide enough to go all the way to the driver's side of the boat, but I'm okay with that. I can always, if I want to, piece something together and be all right. but I really don't need. There's the floorboard under the steering wheel and stuff in that area. It's fine. So I mean, it really doesn't matter much. So now I got my marker. I'm gonna trace my pattern out as best I can, and then get it cut, and then start making the adjustments needed to get it to fit. All right, get some progress made. I'll bring you back. All right, another update. I've already cut the back edge off of this, and I don't think it's straight. I'll probably end up having to trim some back on it because I'm looking at that and seeing. So we'll see. I may be fixing that, but I'm fixing to get after it with the jigsaw now. Get the rest of it cut. Like I said, it ain't gonna be perfect. I'll probably be grinding on it with the angle grinder for a while till it gets to sit down in there. Anyway, like I said, it don't need to be perfect. Just ready to fish out of. All right, when I get some progress made, I'll bring you back. Let you have a look. I've got this thing cut out. In the moment of truth, we'll drop it in the bottom of the boat and see how much trimming I need to do on it. Hopefully we'll be good to go, and then I'll need to go to the store and get the epoxy resin for it, because I want to make sure I get this thing sealed up good, and so we can enjoy it for years to come. All right, we're going to test it and see. Bring you back in a few. Alright, got some areas that still need to be trimmed up. Like I said, that ain't pretty, it's practical. Well, good, happy Saturday morning, folks. I'm fixing to take this out in the front yard, take the grinder to it, and begin to kind of shave it down to get it to fit in the bottom of the boat. When I get it fitted, I'll go back to the hardware store and get some fiberglass resin to coat that with. And when I get that done, then I'll put the carpeting on it, and I need to find a cover for that. And there may be one. I may be able to use the old one if it's not all busted up. But that's what we're doing today. So I'm gonna get started. See you shortly. I've been doing some trimming and some fitting and some trimming again. Kind of cleaning up edges. Had to round that off a little more. It ain't a perfect fit. There's gaps and stuff, but you know, it'll work. It's an old bass boat, and I'm just, you know, you can spend a bazillion dollars to fix it up, or you can just do what I'm doing, cutting a new floor panel. And like I had said before, I know I repeat myself a lot on my videos because I just, come in and out, in and out, in and out. But for what it's going to get used for, again, fishing boat. That's all I need. I'll get the fiberglass after it as soon as that thing drops down in there and fits where it's supposed to. I'll put the resin on and then begin to carpet it. I was able to salvage one of the old drain covers, and it fit in there real good. It does have a crack in it though. It kind of bothers me right there. So I may go to the hardware store and see if they have a drain or something. Maybe stainless steel, who knows. Anyway, I'm going to get back to work, bring you back when I get some progress made. Trimming and more trimming and still more trimming, but it's beginning to fit. I'm just right now just kind of zeroing it in. That corner's not perfect. Anyway, I'm not going to go repeat myself again. It's almost there. See you soon. All right. It's ugly, but it will do just fine. All right. I better pause this video before I get infringement rights on somebody's song, because this is my town. All right. We finally fit. Now it's time to get it waterproofed and get this thing ready. Let me give you a little update. This is what I've done so far. This has got a coat, and you can see some differences. And reason being, I started off using a paintbrush, and it's thin here, but it's still tacky, which kind of doesn't make sense, because it's even this stuff here from the second batch is tacky, but in the center I had a little bit left over, so I just poured it and spread it out as best I could with my paintbrush. It's dry, but the other isn't. So I ended up having to buy a full gallon of it. I've got maybe 2.5 ounces left in that small container. I bought a gallon of it, and I'm going to move this out of the garage and put it in a bare spot out in the yard. And what I'm gonna do is pour and smooth out in these areas here that I use the brush, and do it that way, because like I said, it took no time at all. Of course, I got some bumps and stuff in here that I gotta try to hit with my sander real quick and knock them down. But man, it's been a rough afternoon. See that right there? I've got a bad case today. Let's see, where do we start? I've had the dropsies, the tripsies, the spillsies, and the knock 'em downsies. Started off, I was trying to step over this big pile of landscape timbers, and tripped, fell, did a chest plant into the concrete. Yeah, buddy. That was from just tripping over the wood pile. This fiberglass resin, yeah, it burns. Got it in the armpit. I don't know how that happened. All over both hands as I was falling. It's just, yeah. And then went inside and sat down a minute and set a beer down on a TV tray. Got up and walked by it and smacked it with my hand, dumping it in the floor. And when I spun around to panic over spilling the beer, knocked the fan over. So there you have it. That was an afternoon filled with gremlins. But I hope that crap's under control. I don't need to fall down again. I'm getting too old for that. But anyway, I'm going to bring this out in the yard and pour and smooth in these areas here, and then turn it over when it dries and get the other side, and then it will be ready for me to put the carpet on it. So I'll bring you back when I get some progress made. Hopefully I won't kill myself as I'm doing it. So anyway, see you in a few. I'm waiting on this new coat to dry, and I'll flip it over and get the other side done. And I'm hoping this dries and dries where I can flip it and go ahead and coat the other side, because I would like to be able to begin the carpet. It looks like it is setting up. It kind of gets a dull appearance when it's drying. And I got a little lump in it. That's all right though. Anyhow, getting closer to having that done. And then after that's done, I'll probably start on the nose of it. I had an Amazon order that was due in today, and I watched the Amazon van driving through my neighborhood and never did stop. I'm sure it's on the truck somewhere, but it's the I bought some more of these holes for the seats, and then I'm gonna eventually get the 2 fishing pedestal seats for back here. And I think I've gone ahead and decided that I'm going to move that seat over closer to that edge and go ahead and put that seat down in the middle, so I have 3 seats going across the back of it. And then of course, kind of a repeat of what I've already done, because sometimes I forget I've already talked about this, especially when the video is lengthy, but it'll sit right there. And boogie woogie. Alright. Alright guys, I've got side number 2 done up. It ain't got to be perfect, just covered. I wanted it waterproofed. We're there. This stuff dries fast, really fast. I may be able to start the carpet. So I'll put the carpet on it maybe tonight. And now I've got a gallon of that crap. I'm gonna, and like I said before, I'm gonna repeat myself again. I'm gonna, any wooden pieces that I put in that boat that have to do with the interior, it's gonna get this coating put on it. And then my order came in from Amazon, so I bought 3 of these right here, because I already had one. And then when I put all this back together up front, I'll have my second pole set up, and then I got to get my seats ordered for it, as far as my pedestal seats to fish with. And we're going to be in business. I'm looking forward to this. I was wanting to press it to get it going and have it done, so I could take it to the lake next weekend, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that or not. We'll see, because I mean, I still gotta repair these other doors. The carpet's all jacked up. I did that today, just putting that piece of wood in and out of here to shore it up and make sure it fit. I gotta but all these need to be recovered, and so there's quite a bit. And of course, not having a trolling motor, that'll make it tough as far as fishing around the rocks and stuff. I don't want to get it all up in the rocks and stuff, but I would like to get it in a mess of sand bass. Anyway, I'm gonna put the video on pause tonight, and pick up where I left off tomorrow. See you then. Alright, I've got it laid out, and I've got it cut to length on this. And once I get it cut down, I'll still be able to use that section right there that you see draped. And I've pulled it over somewhat, but I can only do it, the way that thing's shaped out. But I'm fixing to, or if I can find the dadgum glue. Wah, wah, wah. Once I find my glue, I'll be able to get that thing, get it glued down, and then I'll let it dry add some staples, and then like right in through here is the area for the hole for the drain, and there's your shape for the passenger side, driver's side area here. Once it gets glued down and secured, I'll cut along this edge here, and I'm not gonna tuck and roll this. I'm just gonna set it down in there because, like I said, I've got the sides of it fiberglassed with that resin, that fiberglass resin or whatever you want to call it. So it's not going to really be necessary. And I'll get it attached, and then I'll start working on the seat area. I already know how I'm going to get that fixed, and then once I get all that stuff done, then I will repair and recover these doors. And that's going to be a challenge because I have no idea how to do this kind of work. So I'll be rely on picking some brains, going to YouTube for videos, and I think a buddy of mine has got some tools to tuck that carpet with. So, but I want to try to get this done and make it look as nice as possible. I also need to get a top made for this, and the reason I'm going to have to do that is because that's all messed up. I mean messed up, so I'll put another piece of plywood down on top of it. You know, I'll try to do a better job of cutting it to fit this seam area. But it's going to be nice. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the day that my wife and I can get this thing out, fish out of it, because she loves to fish, and introduce her to some bass fishing. Anyway, I'll bring you back as soon as I get some more progress made. Y'all have a nice evening. Fixing to cut this material and install it into the boat, and that'll bring this this particular episode to an end before I load my phone down too much. Anyhow, I'm going to get started on cutting this material, and I'll bring you back when I got some progress made. See you in a few minutes. Real quick deal, I got it trimmed around the edges, leaving myself enough. I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tuck it. I'm not sure how it'll end up. I can always untuck it and cut it another way, but it's going to be really snug. I think it'll work. This is ready to test fit with the carpet on it. I had a bunch of staples on the top of it. It looked like crap, so I pulled them all out because I already had glued this carpet down to the surface using the original drain cover. I'll probably remove it at some time and repaint it. Maybe not. But I'm fixing to see if it fits, because I know with the carpet tucked around it, it made it a little bit wider, so we'll see. Alright, give me a few minutes and I'll bring you back. Alright, it's in. It's an extremely tight fit, but you know, for an amateur woodworker and carpet layer and anything else I can think of, it's not too bad. And it gives new solidity to the floor if I'm creating or if I'm using a word, if it does exist. Now all we got to do, the next project, yeah, there's a gap right here I don't like, but my template did something funky on me. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take this back up and put it in the garage because I got drainage issues right now because of the flat tire. I got to area it up, and then when that thing drains, it's going to drain right in the floor. So I don't think we got any more rain coming, so we'll let it dry out another day, and put this back down and secure it, and then I'll bring the cover out and keep the cover on it after that, and keep the water out of it. But there it is. That's going to bring to a close this episode of Bass Boat on a Budget. And when I start the next project, I'll bring you back and catch you on the next video. See you soon.